it showed them that he was of God.
Right.
Because if he
And
was
it
growing.
granted him protection.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's how he
So he's
benefited.
God's making himself known to the world by these blessings that's taking
Mhm.
place.
Yep.
What I wondered about was, so, Abimelech? How do
Uh-huh.
you pronounce that again?
Abimelech?
Abimelech. He asked Isaac why he had lied to him,
Mhm.
and Isaac said, well, because I was afraid that I would die for her, because of her.
They kill him.
So, why is it that he thinks his wife's gonna get him in trouble?
Because if you're married and somebody thinks you're beautiful, you get rid of the husband, now you're not married anymore.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she was fair to look at.
Think
Get
of
rid of the
David.
husband, now she's free to
Yeah,
marry.
exactly.
That's exactly what he did.
That's what he did. Put the husband on the front line.
Right, yeah.
Oh, David?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
Yep.
What is the purpose of digging all these wells? I just kind of,
Yeah.
they're digging, and I mean, you know.
He
you have to
filled
go
them
down
in.
really far here to get water, and there they're like digging wells by hand, and they're like
Mm-hmm.
digging them
Yeah, but
all over the
they
place,
were in
and
the
there's water
desert,
right
so water
there.
was
Water was scarce.
scarce, so it was really important to find water. That, I think that's why.
Yeah, but they're finding it all over, and they're digging wells all over the place,
And
and
the other guy's throwing dirt in them and burying them back up and,
Well, Isaac is finding water, so it could be another one of the blessings that God has given Isaac, is that he's able to find a lot of water.
Water real good.
There you go, he's got a divining rod.
And the Philistines are claiming the water after
Right.
Okay.
Isaac.
Yep.
Verse 18.
And so to avoid conflict,
Mhm.
Isaac moves on and digs another well.
And that's one thing he learned from Abraham, to avoid conflict and to peacefully move on. So it's one thing he learned. Well, no, he learned how to lie too. I forgot. I
Interesting,
forgot.
different
It's a
names they
family
give to
trait.
each well.
Pardon?
yeah.
Different names they give to each
Yeah.
well, and the last one was a very special name.
Because
Names which his father given.
Yep.
Disputes over water rights and pasture lands were common, it says.
Yeah, but there we go. And then skip me.
and they're not even lying to
if
say
that's
the
where he
truth.
was.
Therefore, the name of the city is Bereshit.
They're lying to save their skins.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
They probably had to go down pretty deep to find it.
Yep.
It doesn't sound like it here, but to me, it didn't sound like it.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
In verse 18, my version, then Isaac dug again the wells of the water which had been dug in the days of his father Abraham.
Mhm. So they knew
For
where
the
the
Philistines
did.
had stopped them up
Mm-hmm.
after the death of Abraham. So that tells me that, A, it is the same. Abimelech. Yeah. That tells me, because they're in the same area, they're in the same spot. It's not Egypt, they're in the same land as
Yeah.
when Abraham was there. So,
And in my Bible, verse 18 says Isaac reopened the wells.
yeah.
So same old well. To me, that's why it was easy to get that one open.
Yeah, there would have been
Every
something
time I
with the
think
wells that
about,
showed that that's what they were.
A desert, I think of the Sahara, where the winds move the sand and everything gets covered over and uncovered.
Yeah, yeah.
But if they were raising crops, it wouldn't be that sandy probably.
And the number 3 pops up again in verses 19 through 22. He dug 3 wells, and on the 3rd try, the Philistines let him keep it.
Now the Lord has given us room, and we will flourish in this land,
Yep,
We will be fruitful.
yep.
multiply.
And verse 24, God blesses him again.
Reiterates the blessing.
Yep. And what happens in verse 25?
Another altar.
Finally, Isaac builds an altar and worships. Whereas Abraham built an altar every time God blessed him, Isaac is finally doing it.
Maybe he's thinking back to the horror that happened last time his dad built an altar.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm a little nervous here.
Maybe
Yeah, maybe that's why you didn't want to build one.
That's a good point, yeah, there you
A
go.
little
He
scary.
was a little spooked.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, what else do we see here?
Well, then his servants dug a well there where he built the altar.
Okay.
And then
Open agreement.
Abimelech got mad. He's like, okay, wait a minute.
Well, he got scared.
Yeah. He knew too much. I think he just got afraid of Isaac.
We saw clearly that the Lord was
The Lord
with
is
you.
with you. Yeah.
So we need to make peace with you because God is with you. And finally, Isaac acts the right way and he makes a feast for them.
Now, Abimelech and his guys, did they worship the big G God or no? They did not.
No.
Okay.
But they knew that the big G God was blessing them.
Okay.
And, you know, just like now, some people, no matter how blessed they see us get,
Mm-hmm.
how often we talk about God, how often we talk about our answered prayers, they're still not going to worship God. So that's what happened to the Philistines.
Okay.
Kind of reminds you of Jesus meeting the woman at the well. Wells come up again, pretty important.
Yep. Living water is important to everybody.
And he is.
Yep.
I thought Abimelech and his crew were trying to cover their bases, so just in case.
Sure.
The big G God turned out to be the right God du jour, that
God du jour.
they would have treated Isaac with respect.
Sure.
Hey, God, look what we did, so.
Yeah.
We're good, right?
We're not going to worship you, but...
We're good.
We're nice to your people.
Yeah, we're nice to your
God
people.
du jour. I never heard. That's a good
Verse
one.
31. Early in the next morning, it seems like everything happens early in the day. Swore an oath to each other.
That's why I didn't get anything
You don't get up early enough.
Get up early enough.
Yeah, because it's pretty hot in the desert,
That's what I was
so
Yeah.
get business done
Yeah,
early
they
in the
wanted
day.
to
Yep.
beat the heat of the day, I'm sure.
And then his servants dig another well, and they found water,
Naturally.
naturally.
Yeah.
Amen.
And then Esau. It ends with the weird little paragraph in there.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I just thought that was.
It's like, yeah, just stuck there.
Where'd that come from?
Somebody an afterthought.
And the name of the last one was Sheba, and my footnotes say Sheba could mean oath or seven.
Right.
Ah, 7.
What does
Yeah,
it mean?
Oath or seven.
Yeah.
7.
And
They
that's
dug
one of-
7 wells.
There you
That's
go.
one of the numbers too.
Yep.
7
Seven is
is
the
a
perfect number.
Fibonacci number.
Yep. Another
7 days
number
of
of,
the week.
another number of completeness.
That's why we have 7 days in a week.
Probably.
Never thought of that.
Never thought of it either.
Mm.
Interesting.
I thought those came from the Greek calendar, though.
Yeah,
The days of the week, but I could be wrong.
the names too.
But again, it was, Esau was 40 years old when he married Judith. So again, it's a 40-year-old marriage, or 40-year-old man
It's
marrying.
lucky anybody would marry him with all that hair.
But I
He was a good hunter.
I like 35. And they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah.
One says, and they brought grief for Isaac.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
the way my.
They were a
word
source
is.
of grief.
Now, a source of grief was just Esau and Judith, or
Esau and Judith, because.
not Jacob.
Judith was,
Hittite.
yeah.
Oh.
He
So
married
that
two
was the
Hittites,
source
didn't he?
of grief.
Yep.
Yes.
She
He
was a
married
Hittite,
two
so
Hittites.
that
It was
was-
wrong.
He must have had more than one, because
But
my
Isaac was supposed to marry one of his own people.
Right.
I mean, Jacob was. Isaac
Yes.
made certain that Jacob
Right.
married one of his own people.
Right.
But it
But
makes a point in
Abraham
here
did
saying
the
that
same
Esau
thing.
married a Hittite.
I have Esau Hittite wives.
Yeah, he
In
married
fact, he
two.
married two
Oh,
of them.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, there we go.
Married
Yeah.
Judith and then basement.
Very-
Yeah.
Berry and basement.
Base map?
Base map.
Base map. Base-
Basement.
basement.
Bury a basement, okay.
And that's where we'll pick up next week.
My footnote says that in addition to these two wives that were mentioned there of Esau, Esau also married Mahela, sister of somebody, Nebaioth, and daughter of Ishmael.
Remember, it was Abraham's
So he married his,
servant that sent
that
back
would
for a
have
wife
been
to
his
his
cousin.
people, sent back to get a wife.
If he
for
married the daughter of
Isaac
Ishmael.
and now. Yeah, so
Oh.
Jacob will be the same way. They want
Yeah.
Jacob to marry with him. They did not want Leah to be married with the Hittites. They wanted him to go back and get him from their
That's-
people.
That's
Good
common
change.
in the
Yeah.
Islamic.
I have to plot it
That's
out.
one of the,
Jim,
How
what
long
chapter's
did it
next
go
week?
before they were just one wife and one husband?
A long time.
Long time?
Long time.
Actually, that was the original intention. That's the way God always planned it to be,
Mhm.
but man perverted it.
Again and again.
Mhm.
The
And still do to this
lifespan got
day.
considerably less in this,
The
in
Mormons.
these two chapters too. We went from 600 years of a lifespan down to 170, 160,
Yes.
130.
They're dying out.
That their lifespan is shortening
Yep.
considerably now.
Right, as God promised.
Mhm.
And Deb's
A
right.
good long life at
In-
137, yeah.
In the original design of God of Eden, one man and one woman. But because the wife is barren, you gotta get an heir from somebody else. And if she doesn't work out, you gotta go down the next line and so on and so on. Yep,
It's the water. Just kidding.
right.
Just kidding.
Okay, so next week is chapters 27, 28, and 29.
2 chapters, okay.
Yep, 3 chapters.